Today on the news, potential racist activities, Mong Wanzhou footage at Vancouver Airport, Westwood Ranch, and the G7 roadblock. We begin with a member of the military under investigation. There are reports that he is involved in some potential racist activities and maybe be part of a hate group. With more on that, here's Kevin Gallagher, who leads us off right now.
As a new Lieutenant General assumed command of Canada's Army today, there are concerning allegations that extremist white supremacy groups have infiltrated the ranks.
We have absolutely no time for those that do not hold the values of the Army and the Canadian Armed Forces.
Both the military and the RCMP are investigating Master Corporal Patrick Matthews for trying to recruit Canadians into a violent neo-Nazi organization. The 26-year-old has been a reservist since 2010 and is a combat engineer with explosives training.
They want well-trained people who know about armaments, who know about how to make bombs.
Alarms were first raised when these posters started popping up around Winnipeg, asking people to join the base, a white nationalist group founded in the U.S. that says it's preparing for a race war. The flyers were traced back to Matthews through an undercover Winnipeg Free Press investigation.
SWAT team just pulled up.
Last night, the RCMP seized firearms from Matthews' home using a public safety warrant. No arrests have been made yet, but this is far from an isolated case. In May, a military police report found 16 Canadian Forces members were connected to extreme hate groups between 2013 and 2018. 37 more engaged in racist or hateful behavior. Of those 53 members, 30 remain with the armed forces. The military downplayed these numbers, saying it represents only 0.1% of its membership, a response critics are jumping on.
If the military had identified 30 people from ISIS who were getting Canadian military training, we would have had a collective national nervous breakdown.
The defense minister rejects criticism that the military isn't taking white supremacy seriously enough.
This is something that we have been very mindful of for a very long time, and something that we will not tolerate whatsoever inside the Canadian Armed Forces.
Master Corporal Matthews has not been suspended, but that may change before his next scheduled shift at the Armory in September.
Let's get now to some developing news from Alberta, where there has been a crash. One person was killed, 12 others were injured in the incident. The crash involved multiple vehicles. We do not have any video at this time, but we will continue to follow this story as it develops. Let's get now to some breaking news. And this breaking news is about a Survivor, about season 40 of Survivor. We are learning that the name of the season has been released, and the tribes, the tribe divisions have been released as well. Now we can show you. Now we are going to show you. We're going to try and show you the photo of what the season is called. We will continue to follow this right here on this broadcast. Some new footage is emerging of Mong Wanzhou at Vancouver's airport. The footage shows an officer looking through her bag. CTV's Glenn McGregor reports.
Surveillance video from inside the arrivals area shows Canada Border Service agents searching Mong Wanzhou's luggage. The powerful Huawei telecom executive says she was unlawfully detained for 3 hours as CBSA rummaged through her belongings while RCMP officers stood by and watched. Her electronic devices were seized and she was compelled to turn over the passwords under the guise of a routine immigration check and in violation of her charter rights, her lawyers contend. Only after the search was she turned over to the RCMP and arrested on a request to extradite her to the U.S. on charges of violating economic sanctions against Iran. Meng accuses CBSA of deceiving her as to the true nature of her detention, abusing search powers afforded to CBSA officers in order to collect evidence for a foreign law enforcement agency, and conducting a covert criminal investigation. Extradition experts say releasing the video could be an effective tactic by her lawyers.
In high-profile cases where, in part, political pressure helps the client, you want to be on that front page. You want to be on that TV screen. And what better opportunity than a live recording, audio-visual of your client being interrogated hour after hour by CBSA at the airport?
Meng calls her arrest an abuse of process, intended to give the U.S. economic and political gain in its trade dispute with China. She cites President Donald Trump's suggestion last year he'd intervene in the case if it could help secure a trade deal.
I could imagine Huawei being possibly included in some form of or some part of a trade deal.
Meng claims the CBSA gave real-time updates on the inspection in Vancouver to Canada's Department of Justice, which passed on updates to the FBI.
There is a place in Manitoba with some exotic animals. Jaden Lee Lincoln has the details.
There's an unusual site located about 2 hours east of Yorkton. In Kola, Manitoba is a place called Westwood Ranch Garden Center, and there's more than just plants here. It's home to a variety of exotic animals.
So we house various sort of collection of animals. We have zebras, we've got the lemurs behind us, tortoises, parrots, ostriches, emus, then we have the farm animals as well.
Many of the animals here are ones you wouldn't typically find in the area.
Well, I don't think there's any other zebras in Manitoba or Saskatchewan. There's certainly no other lemurs around these parts.
The ranch is open spring through fall and gives adults and kids the opportunity to learn about farm animals and exotic species.
I learned like all different things they eat.
Now this center isn't just home to exotic animals. It's also become a rescue to many surrendered pets.
We have quite a few of the animals that are being brought in because of people either not knowing how to house them properly or wanting them to have a better environment to live in.
And the ranch hasn't just given the opportunity of a better life for their animals, they care about their staff as well, encouraging them to succeed, including Chance, who lives with disabilities but is a hard worker. The Humphreys took a chance on Chance, making him their lawn maintenance keeper.
Chance has proven, just in his case, that there are a lot of areas for these guys to be able to be successful in.
And Mark actually thought of the idea of me mowing grass. I think it's lots of fun, and I just love being out here.
Westwood places a high importance on all aspects of learning and caring for their staff. And it all comes down to this: a true love of animals and people are what keeps this place thriving. Jaden Lee Lincoln, CTV News, Kola, Manitoba.
An investigation is underway after a man died after an incident in the workplace. CTV's Colton Weens reports.
A worker has died while working at an oil field site here in southern Saskatchewan. Crescent Point Energy, the company in charge of the site, confirmed the death happened sometime on Monday. The worker was an employee of Weyburn-based Aaron Wells Servicing who did not want to comment. In a statement, the Minister of Labour Relations and Workplace Safety, Don Morgan, says, quote, "The safety of workers in our province is a major priority for this government. We all need to commit to making safety a priority so that no family has to suffer with losing someone they loved simply because they went to work." And according to the province, 17 people had died at the workplace this year as of July 31st. Now, Crescent Point Energy says they're not able to comment any further because an internal and external investigation into the cause of death is ongoing. Colton Weens, CTV News, near Stoughton.
There has been a major increase into fires in Brazil's Amazon rainforest. Over 72,000 fires are burning. These fires are common in the Amazon rainforest, but this is an 83% increase from last year's fire season. Now the footage from NASA shows the smoke. There's a lot of smoke. Smoke is, if you're in Sao Paulo, Brazil, you can just see a blanket of smoke over the city. We will continue to follow this story as it develops. A man in Regina is being forced to cut the grass next door, or he will receive a fine from the city. CTV's Kelly Stefano has the details.
20 years ago, Jim Zinkin bought this vacant lot beside his home.
Where we lived before, we had neighbors from hell, and so I thought this way I can control who's going to be here. But then there was so much nice wildflowers and stuff growing here, we just let it grow that way.
Zinkin's wife has Alzheimer's disease. He says she enjoys spending time among the plants.
She does like nature stuff, always has. We used to travel to national parks all the time, and so in a way we've got our own park just outside our window.
Zinkin says he hasn't had many issues with the state of his lot in the past, but on Wednesday he received a letter from the city of Regina saying he needs to cut the grass and plants down or he'll be fined and the city will mow the vegetation down.
Nothing can grow higher than 5 inches, even wildflowers or anything else.
On Monday, a City of Regina bylaw officer came by Zinkin's lot to display a public notice about the overgrown grass. The officer also took issue with the fence Zinkin has around the lot.
Make it look good, because otherwise it would be considered untidy, unsightly.
Okay.
Okay? And I don't want to start a yard action.
Yeah. Okay.
All right?
I mean, it's tough for us, too.
Unwanted weeds and overgrown grass, of course, like I said earlier, it becomes untidy and unsightly. So you have to maintain and groom your yard accordingly.
The bylaw officer wasn't entirely clear on when Zinkin needs to cut the plants down. One notice says August 21st, while the publicly posted notice says the 26th. But for Zinkin, he's left with one option.
I have to. I mean, I've got no choice. Basically, I fight things that I think aren't right, but if the rule's the rule, I always follow the rules.
Rules that mean Zinkin and his wife will lose the plants in their natural lot that they treasure so much. Kelly Stefano, CTV News, Regina.
There are more threats of possible mass shootings. One of the latest ones includes a man wanting to kill 100 people. With more on that, here's Victor Oquendo.
Watching police body cam video of a 15-year-old Florida boy whose face has been blurred being arrested in front of his mother by 2 officers for allegedly threatening to shoot up his school. Authorities reading that threat aloud to the teen and his mother.
I, Dalton Barnhart, vow to bring my father's M15 to school and kill 7 people.
He didn't do anything wrong. Yes, he's 15, but he's still a little boy, and he's not one of the crazy people out there doing stuff.
Tonight, police releasing the 15-year-old's mugshot, which we've blurred. His comment was reported to the FBI. A written threat is a second-degree felony in Florida. Across the country, police say they've potentially thwarted several mass shooting threats. In Indianapolis, 38-year-old truck driver Thomas Matthew McVicker was arrested. Authorities say they stopped him less than a week before he planned on attacking a church in Memphis. In the criminal complaint, police saying McVicker said, "I was thinking about shooting a church up, but I'm afraid how it will affect my family in the flesh after I'm gone." And in Seattle, 35-year-old Eric Lynn was arrested for allegedly writing threatening messages to a woman on Facebook. He also allegedly wrote that he would kill all Hispanics in Miami and other places. There have been a string of mass killing threats in the last few days, including 20-year-old James Reardon from Ohio, who police say threatened to shoot up a Jewish community center and posted this disturbing video on his Instagram. And this dramatic police body cam video.
Do you have any weapons we need to know about?
Capturing the moment, Florida officials arrested Tristan Wicks in Daytona Beach shores after he allegedly texted his girlfriend his intentions to shoot as many as he could, writing a good 100 kills would be nice.
Go now to some breaking news. 4 people were injured overnight in a shooting at a block party. The shooting broke out because 2 groups started a confrontation. The 4 people injured were were caught in the crossfire. They are expected to be okay. If you watched the latest episode of Amazing Race Canada, you would know that they went to a building where the G7 summit was held in Quebec. With more on that, here's this story.
The G7 organization, every time I pause, the cameras go crazy.
In the latest episode of The Amazing Race Canada, teams raced to the site of the G7 summit. There was a roadblock there. One team member had to speak in a press conference. They had to answer 3 questions and say an important announcement in 5 different languages: English, French, Italian, German, and Japanese. The G7 summit included people like Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, Theresa May, and presidents like President Trump from the United States. The incident, it was fun and to watch, and boy was it funny to watch on your screens.
Every time I pause, the cameras go crazy.
Let's get back to one of our top stories today. We're learning an update on Survivor Season 40, which is an all-winner season. The season is going to be called not All Winners, but it's going to be called Survivor Winners at War. Now, in my opinion, that title is really well. And now I will have a Let's Talk on my YouTube channel, talking about this developing news, talking about this whole story. And we know the cast the cast includes well-known players like Natalie Anderson, Parvati, Boston Rob, Amber, Sandra, Tyson, many other players. Now we will continue to follow the story. Now let's get to the tribe division. Now I do have an image to share with you right here. Now the image shows who's on the blue tribe and who's on the red tribe. Now we will, like I said, we will continue to follow this story as it develops. And that concludes our broadcast for this morning. Thank you for watching. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.